Give it a couple minutes here, a minute. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen as well. Let's see, speaker, we're going to share screen. This over here. All right, give me a thumbs up, somebody. Let's see that you can see the screen now. Kim, I see you. Thank you. All right, it is 1 minute. We're gonna have about 30 seconds and we'll start on time. As I was telling Catherine, these are typically an hour, sometimes less. We don't have any special guests today except for Ryan from our career services. He's always special. But other than that, just a lot of stuff to share with you and talk about for the brokerage. So we may get here done early, we may not, but we will have time for questions if you need to at the end. So, okay, Ryan, you see the screen too? We're good. All right, here we go. Giving people, I guess on my clock is right. So here we go. Today we're coming over, obviously welcome to September. I can't believe this short week and how busy things are, which is good as far as transactions, as far as just the volume of activity for going back to school and so forth. But I want to talk about our partners and our affiliates and how they benefit us. A little blurb about HSI commercial, a lot more questions now coming about around HSI. Obviously mentorship with Billy, if Billy's here. If not, it's still available. Ryan, of course, with career services. Upcoming events, we got lots of them coming up, which is going to be fun. Some brokerage sort of things we covered last month I want to cover again because some people missed them. And then a lot of updates and talking about the new TREC rule and forms changes, which we're going to talk about in detail on tomorrow's Lunch and Learn, but I want to cover them today so that everybody has an awareness of the changes and how they affect us. Obviously, a quick blurb about celebrating our top 15 for the second quarter agents, and then our just some pictures from our summer event, which was fun. So, okay, me growing the beard out. This is our these are our Houston specific smart affiliates. We all know this. We still have Minute Mortgage. We're looking for a mortgage officer, broker. So if you know someone that you've worked with that may be looking for another place to hang their license, and we have an office here, and we're looking for a local lender to join the Minute Mortgage team. We do have American Home Shield and Super Home Warranty, 2 home warranty services that are partners with us. We have the Utility Concierge. And just I wanted to point this out as one of our partners here is in your profile, there's a box that you can check or uncheck. If it's checked, and which is defaulted that way, at the end of your transaction, the Utility Concierge contacts your client on your behalf and offers to handle the transfer utilities for no cost to them, which is really cool. But if you don't want that to happen, you uncheck the box and then they won't call your client. So be aware that there is a checkbox for that. And of course, my natural home disasters, this is really good. The guy had a presentation with us a couple months ago. When we're preparing and property or a purchase, and they would need to know all the things where the flood zones are, where the hurricane zones are, whatever, you can get insurance for those natural disasters as well at a very low cost for your customers. Here's a slide for Minute Mortgage, Super Home Warranty, obviously Utility Concierge. Remember that button there. And I got a question real quick. There we go. Good morning. Thank you. And then American Home Shield, and then the natural disaster one. I wanted to bring up one of our not Houston specific. This is more of a national partner, not really a smart affiliate yet, but we had a presentation probably 2 months ago as well on Show It Solutions. This is that third-party system that allows listing agents from HomeSmart to post opportunities for other agents to hold open houses, to deliver signs, to do whatever, and pay them like an Uber style app. It's directly agent to agent. We have this. There's been many of you that have signed up. Show It Solutions is going to have trainings coming up, which I'll announce really soon, so you can use the app. So more people can facilitate it and do it. I get probably, I don't know, a couple of requests a day of people looking for people to hold their open house. And so this is a way to kind of hand that off to you guys so you can handle it. More opportunities for buyers to get leads or buyers agents, I should say, and more opportunities for listing agents to serve their sellers with other HomeSmart agents. So, all right. Yeah, okay, good, Captain. They love the utility service. All right. And then contacts here. So classes are coming up probably in the middle to the late part of the month, and then ongoing monthly for the Show It solution. Just wanted to make sure that you're aware of that so that you can check in and use this great little tool that is free. And then you pay your other agent. Obviously, HSI Commercial, been a lot more questions recently. Larry's not here, but he's the one that runs our program out of Georgia and Houston. We're expanding statewide. We're trying to build a commercial agent sort of geographic and concentration list so we know who serves where. So when we have a business opportunity client, we know where to send them to a HomeSmart agent in Dallas or in San Antonio or whatever. So we're working on that, but also the HSI Commercial is a separate and additional ICA, independent contractor agreement, for those that want to be part of this. You get discounted rates for all your LoopNet and CoStar and a bunch of other stuff, logos and stuff like that you can use, but it's in addition to and side by side with your residential one. So you can check into that. Larry's information I've sent out before. I'll send it out again after this meeting. And on HSI, they have a monthly call, and I'll send out the invite for that as well. The next one's coming up on September 19th at 9:30. It's an hour where the commercial group gets together and talks about everything commercial going on nationally and locally as well. And you're invited to join those, even if you're not a member of HSI. All right, Ryan, you are up. You got a big announcement, right?
I do. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, huge announcement. So as y'all may recall, we used to have an agent equity program that was recently, we recently stopped it. And the reason being was because we had to deal with our franchises. As y'all know, we have franchises and we have corporate locations, and it got a little confusing with the equity portion. And not to mention, it was kind of confusing way to earn equity in the first place. But what we've done was we've simplified it and made it so much more lucrative and beneficial for y'all for referring folks, right? So we have a new referral program to announce. The details are still coming out next week. I have another meeting, so y'all are going to have questions. I'm going to put my email address in there. I want y'all to send me questions that you have, so I know what questions to ask as well, to clear up some of the muddiness. But next week I should know a lot more. But here it is, right here. So now for every referral you send me, right, someone that expects my call, that you've kind of explained a bit about HomeSmart, is considered a referral. You will get $250 in stock, right? It's pretty amazing. So you'll get $250 per referral. And if you get 3 referrals that join on board between September 1st and the end of this year, you will have no monthly fees for the rest of the year and 2024. You will have no transaction fees for the rest of this year in 2024. There are no fees at all. You won't pay HomeSmart anything. You'll have your E&O still, and I'll go over that too. But as far as transaction fees and monthly fees go, you won't have to pay anything, which is pretty huge. So not only do you get $250 per, you also get no fees. If you go to the next slide, I'm going to explain what qualifies as a referral for these programs. So agents qualify for the $250. They're kind of the same, but it's a little caveat to the no fees portion of it. So this is for the $250 in stock for a qualified referral. They must be with us for at least 60 days, right? So when I hire them, they have to stick around for at least 60 days. They couldn't have been, they have to join us after September. So if you had some previous referral that joined us, thank you so much. It still counts for your referred 3 for no, monthly fees, but it won't count for this program. They couldn't have been a HomeSmart agent in the past year. And then they must have, active license, good standing, and they have to list you as a referred by. I will do that too, right? So if you send me folks, remember I can't call them though. And they're like, who's Kathy? Who's Jim? They have to expect a call from me though. But if they neglect to put your name in there, I will, if you send me their information. So don't worry, you'll get credit for that. If you go to that next slide, I'll show you the difference, the the mild difference to qualify for the no fees. So that gets you $250 in equity per referral that you send me that gets hired. Now to qualify for the no fees, it's all the same things you just read, but also they have to have closed a minimum of 2 transactions in the past 12 months. We have software that tells us what their transactions were, even if they were with another brokerage, so we can find that out. I'll get some more details on how that works too. But they just had to have had 2 in the past 12 months. And then, so as far as the no fees go too, that applies to residential transaction fees only. Those are the fees that you won't have to pay anymore. And it doesn't include E&O, right? So you still have to pay your E&O fees and any co-broke commissions, MLS fees, referral fees, anything like that. Just transaction fees and monthly fees, which is pretty huge. And then I think is there another slide? That's the only ones, right? So what I'm gonna do is for the program, I'm gonna put a link in here. So we actually have a URL. So in the chat, there is a link to the site that tells you more about the program. You're gonna have questions. I have questions still too. I have that meeting coming next week. Do me a favor, send me your questions too, just in case I don't think up the right ones, right? Y'all are the ones with the boots on the ground, right? You're going to be participating in this program. So you may think of something I didn't, and I want to make sure I can ask the higher ups and get some answers for you. So my email address is there too, just in case you don't have it. So as questions arise, please send them to me. Don't expect an answer today, tomorrow, but next week I'll compile something and send something your way so that everyone can get their questions answered. But it's huge, right? 3 referrals, get hired this year. You don't have to pay anything to HomeSmart for 2024. That's insane.
And especially if you're a producing agent, that'd be a lot of money saved, right? And transaction fees and so forth. That is awesome. Yeah. And so basically what we're saying is they can't be brand new agents. They got to have done 2 transactions, and they got to be agents that will come and obviously stay here, not just come here for a day and quit, right? Okay.
Right, exactly. But that said, if you know some brand new agents, new licensees, $250 is still $250. If have them come on board, because that's not a qualification for the $250 in stock. And like I said, we filed our S1 before. Our intention is still to go public at some point. That $250 is going to flip over into an IPO. Then you have $250 in stock at the IPO price. That's going to end up being worth even more. So send me your new licensees too. They just won't count towards the 3 for the fees, but I'll take anything you have. And now they all are worth quite a bit. If you remember before, 1 wasn't worth anything, 2 wasn't worth anything, and I've been finding that, and I didn't like that, because I want y'all to. I know y'all know people that would really fit well in HomeSmart, and it's not very encouraging if you don't have 3. But now, even if you have 1, send them my way. It's gonna be worth it to you.
Awesome. That's really cool. Going back to a question Lupe had about Show It Solutions, is what's the minimum charge? It's basically whatever you want to offer to a buyer's agent, but I believe the minimum charge was $35 to offer for someone to do an open house or deliver a sign or whatever. There is a minimum there, so you have to check into it, but it's not much. And of course, you may want to pay more for a buyer's agent to hold your open house to make it work. So, but there you go. And then that's awesome. I'm going to start referring people. But it probably doesn't work for me, right, Ryan? Okay, Billy is running late today, but we know that our mentorship program is growing. We've added on a couple mentors and a couple mentees. Only to mention this is that it's available for you if you are an old agent, a new agent, someone who wants to revamp their career. We have a mentorship program where you can either mentor mentees and get a small piece of the 3 closings they have, and then do a good thing, or you can be a mentee itself and be mentored. So where someone is assigned to you by Billy, and they walk you through 3 transactions, kind of the whole process, so that you feel equipped, know the system, and can be launched. And it's a little agreement just for those 3 deals that you sign, where they get paid and you get support. It's pretty cool. And so team members as well. It's a great tool for when you hire on new agents. Align them with our mentor program, and then when we're done with them, we'll give them back to you as a team, but they're all trained up one-on-one. So it's a good program. So if you're interested, reach out to Billy or myself.
Hey, Marty,
yeah.
I'm on here. Thank you. Thank you for the spill. You did it for me.
Okay, good.
No. How's everybody doing? Yes. So just a reminder, we are here to help you guys. I have been sending emails to all the new agents. But if you want more information, I'm more than happy to reach out to you and speak with you. I know I've jumped on a call with a couple of the guys that wanted more information. And I know there's some guys coming in that are wanting to have specific mentor. As a reminder, if you want someone to be a mentor, let them know. And if they're interested, I'm happy to, have them join the mentor program as well. And you could be a mentee under them as well. But we do want to make sure they're getting their training and everything is done correctly. But we are here to help in any way possible. And I'm more than happy to jump on a call or meet you any day of the week. And I'll put the HomeSmart email down there. I'll put my email there as well.
Thanks, Billy. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, obviously, I think we're here now. We kind of passed the grace period. So just an update on your contract forms for your IABS and your contract forms when it's the supervisor for you. It should be having my name there, my license number. No more Ignacio, no more Kelly. Just make sure. We've still seen a few that are putting the old names, and we've been really gracious. But from now forward, please make sure those are updated to match my name. Okay, upcoming trade. This is the exciting part right here, guys, everybody. First of all, of course, we have Growth Summit. So if you're thinking about it or not thinking about it at all, apparently they're having some super great deals. You've all gotten emails now about the Growth Summit in Las Vegas, February 19th to the 21st at Caesar's Palace. You can go at a discounted rate now if you sign up and register. If we get a big enough group from Houston there, we'll have our own little dinner together and kind of collaborate, but great speakers, great networking. It's really cool to network with other agents from HomeSmart across the nation. Highly recommend it. I had a great time last year. I think you will as well. It's a good investment and a good write-off, if you will, for your business. So there's my pitch for Growth Summit. And like I said, it'd be really great to show up and show out, if you will. It's like a huge group from Houston, or from Texas in general. So. Okay, this is one just to recap. We know that with Diamond Awards coming up before the Growth Summit, first of the year, top 15 lunches, elite networking. We're going to talk about that in a second. We just had our summer company event, which we'll end the meeting with. We'll have a winter event, of course, in the winter. Engagements, happy hours, meet and greets, and so forth. These are standard every template. These are the standard trainings we get every month as well. Just as a reminder. This is what we're doing today is a brokerage meeting, but we do have the new agent orientation, contracts 101, business development, which is really exciting this month, meet and greets and so forth. This is the prepared training that HomeSmart prepared for us. There's still more to go. We did level up the luxury. We did mortgage 101. We did credit worthiness and credit scoring. And we just did Instagram for agents a few weeks ago. We still have first-time home buyers and build your business with video. Those are coming up. Probably in October, just want to let you know, but really good training and great feedback on the stuff that we've been able to share about growing your business and getting leads. This has been emailed out to everybody on the 27th of this month. The link is in your Real Smart Agent education tab. Go to calendar and register for this event. Shelly Vincent is my role over in Colorado. She's the market leader and broker over there. She has a huge background in technology companies, and this is her forte. She's teaching on crypto, blockchain, and artificial intelligence, and basically the future of real estate. And a lot of things are going that way. So learning this new stuff and how it applies to us in our role and working with clients and real estate in the future should be very exciting. That is on the 27th, right upstairs from here in the Galleria. From 12 to 2. So make sure you register. I'll send the links out as well again today, but I'm excited about having Shelly out. I want to make sure that we pack the room and make sure you put it on your calendar because there's really a lot going on those couple of days. On the next day, so Shelly's coming out the 27th and she's doing her training on the 28th. We have Todd Sumney, our Chief Industry Officer, and Rich LaRue, the Vice President of the Corporate Brokerage for the Western Region. Big title, but they're both coming out to do a full day of training for all of us in the same room upstairs in the Galleria here. Todd's gonna teach 3 classes and Rich is gonna teach 1. It's gonna be fantastic. So all of our agents are invited. Make sure you come. This is a great opportunity to really learn some great skills. Meet those that are from a corporate office that want to come out. So we have 2 packed days, basically. And then on the 27th, before our Shelly doing our AI training and crypto training, we're launching our elite group. So our top 150 agents in the Houston market will get an invite very soon and access to elite labeling and logos and marketing material that you have to qualify for. And so the criteria is the trailing 12 months, 20 transactions or more, and or 4 million in GCI. That's kind of the standard we're starting right now. But if you are in that group, you will be getting an invite very soon. But that will be in the morning before Shelly's training, and then the whole next day will be for everybody, these trainings. So it's just fantastic. So the training on the 28th will be Marketing Essentials by Todd Sumney, followed by Video and Social Media Marketing, also by Todd, and then followed by your sphere of influence, about how to work referrals from your sphere of influence. And then closing out the afternoon from 1:30 to 2:30 is Don't Screw Up Your LLC by Rich. Basically, we make money. We have to know how to manage it, pay our taxes, and use the LLC in a way that actually doesn't harm us. I've known too many agents that get in trouble with the IRS because they don't know what's tax deductible and how to do their taxes, how to use their LLC. Great class. I've heard great reviews from it. So from 9:30 to 2:30, we're going to have some snacks and some food. It's going to be a really good time on the 28th. So I hope you're excited. There's a link already in your calendar in RSA to sign up for this, to register for it. But we should have a packed house for that. Okay, recap. This is something we covered last month on the brokerage meeting, and I just want to cover it again. Obviously, use the brokerage email as much as you possibly can. In many cases, it's a faster way for me to respond to you because I can kind of go to it while I'm doing other things as well. Update your forms to reflect my name and my license number there. After hours, we are hiring, and I mentioned this last month as well, that we have approval to hire an associate or assistant broker. So if you have your broker's license and are interested in doing more, send me an email. But we will be posting that fairly soon. I'm not sure when that will be in place, but it will actually allow us to serve you quicker and better and faster. But until then, for weekends and after hours, send me an email and then send me a text that you sent me an email so I can respond to it in a timely fashion when we're outside the office. All right. I mentioned this last week too, the policies and procedure manual is part of your independent contractor agreement. Reminding you to read it to make sure you know what your responsibilities are. We're dealing with a lot of paperwork issues. We're dealing with late turn-ins or non-turn-ins at all. So just a reminder, this is not about being punitive. It's about meeting our TREC guidelines and responsibilities. Us as a brokerage, we have to have all of your contract documents for listings and sales and leases and all of them, and we have to keep them for 4 years. So our expectation is that you have your paperwork for a listing or a buyer or a lease or a tenant. Anything you do with your license should be uploaded into RealSmart Agent within 5 days. And so this is after we have the incomplete paperwork. If the file is incomplete when the file is closed, agents will be sent a notification for it to be completed. And then 3 days after the notification, a $50 fee could be assessed. Now, for 30 days, you could forfeit your commission. We've got one we're working on now where they had forfeited like 3 commissions. We don't want that. We want to work with you and make sure you get your files complete so we meet our requirements for the state and keep you out of trouble and make sure you get paid. Late paperwork as well. This is the one 5 days. We have a lot of grace and have for a long time, but get them in because each occurrence could be a $50 fee, which we're trying not to assess, but 5-day window, try to get it in. The next one's a big one, no file. This is one we're seeing way too much of. Listing agents, listen to me. If you list a property, you have the paperwork already, you put it on HAR, it's got to be in RSA within 5 days. If I find, and I'm finding tons of them listed on, I get calls from people trying to get a hold of the listing agent, and I look for the file and it's not in RSA, then I look on HAR and it's been listed for 20 or 30 days. Each one of those can be assessed a $500 fee. We don't want to do that. So get your files in. Even the ones that have been listed forever and they're not in yet, put them in now, please. Help us help you, right? And of course, that at the bottom there, if we find that at the bottom, just make sure. I want to remind you about this. Help us. Then we can process your files quicker. We aren't scrambling at the last moment to say, oh, we don't have a file. How can we pay you? It's always a kind of a pain. So 5 days to turn it in. This is kind of a general timeline. You have 5 days to turn your files in. Typically 2 days for paperwork to sort it. We will allow 3 days for broker review. We have a lot of you asking for, I just uploaded the files today. I want you to review it today. And it's like, we can, in some cases, we will charge you a fee for a rush fee if that's the case. There are exceptions to that rule, but in general, try to work ahead. If you get your files uploaded, you know what you're missing and need to upload, and they are processed and you get paid, and you don't need a CDA with a rush. All right. Grace period, like I said, we've extended this and saying we're going to give you 2 warnings for the rest of the year. And then after the first of the year, you only get 1 warning before we assess a fine. So the timeline is after a closing deal? No. This is once you execute it. A listing agreement has to be in RSA within 5 days after execution. A purchase agreement has to be within 5 days after execution. It's before closing, not after closing. Thank you, Syed. Good question. All right. And these are all in your RSA, your affiliate business disclosure, rental commission breakdown. Those are all reminders that you have forms you can download in your RSA. There's a missing paperwork form, which you say, hey, this is why it's missing. There's a late paperwork form, which you give the explanation of why it's late. If in an event you get assessed a fine, a fee, we can remove that fee if the explanation is appropriate or is so on. Required documents, obviously, we talked about rental commission breakdown last month, but I'll skip that for now. Reminder, this is several of our agents travel outside the country on a regular basis. Catherine, you had a question first?
Yes, I wanted to point out something. I just recently hit a problem, and I've never had it before, but on my iOS, my phone and my iPad, it did not allow me to add a contact for my new listing for some reason. I had to pull out my HP Windows machine, and I was using Chrome, and I cleared my cache. I don't know what happened, but I had to pull out my Windows machine to add it. I did go over the 5 days on that because I fought it for 3 days thinking I could fix it. But I wanted to point out that that needs to be told to everybody, that if it doesn't work with one browser, try another or another machine or device.
That's a really good point. We had a couple agents that were struggling with Chrome and went over to Safari or Firefox, whatever it is, and it worked just fine. I don't know why, but that is a good call. And then, of course, if something like that, if you're having technology issues, let me know, and we can make sure that we're not going to assess any fine. This being out of the country as well. If you are out of the country, you can't access RSA unless we get your IP address whitelisted. So if you know you're going to be out of the country, send me an email, and then with your IP address, and we'll have IT. They basically whitelist it, allowing you to access your RSA from wherever you are outside the country. So we've done that multiple times. Just want to remind you that it's possible so that you can get access to your files. We added one more board already. We are members of the HAR, of course, the Houston Association, the Austin Board, San Antonio, Bryan College Station, Metrotex, Odessa Permian, Corpus Christi, Central Texas, El Paso, and now Galveston. So those are all places where you can, as an agent, because a broker's already a member, you could join and pay the dues if you want to, but you have the right to. So we make that available for you. All right, a couple things here I want to cover fairly quickly. This is from Texas Realtors. It says, can you collect fees from both parties in a transaction? And of course, the answer is yes, but the Real Estate License Act states that as license holder, you may only receive compensation from more than one party in a transaction if you have full knowledge and consent of all parties. It's a good idea for you to get the necessary consents in advance and in writing. And of course, it goes on to say that the Realtor Code of Ethics requires that we do that in writing. And the reason I'm bringing that up is we covered the intermediary policy last week. The intermediary policy, make sure you review it, we included a brand new form in the event that you are a true intermediary without appointments, meaning you're working with both sides, which means you're getting compensation from both sides. You need to have the proper disclosures. And now what that means is we have the new form you sign and the TXR intermediary notice 1409 have to be included when you do that. There are other options though, and I highly recommend that if you have an unrepresented buyer, you leave them unrepresented. If you have an unrepresented seller, leave them unrepresented, or have us appoint another HomeSmart agent to represent the other side. And this is one I want to remind everybody, if it's a HomeSmart to HomeSmart transaction, a Houston HomeSmart to Houston HomeSmart transaction, meaning from this brokerage, it will always be an intermediary with appointments, and we need the TXR 1409 form signed with you assigned as the buyer's agent and the other agent assigned as the seller's agent, and as me appointing it. Just be aware, this is one of those things that we kind of miss on a regular basis. So I want to make sure that if it's HomeSmart to HomeSmart, it is a intermediary with appointments. Okay. Broker updates. Here's the things that have changed. When should the option fee be released to the seller? This is from Texas Realtors again. It says, we often get asked about when the option fee should be released to the seller when using the 1-to-4 family contract, TXR 1601 or TREC 2017. Assuming the buyer has paid the option fee, then according to Section 5A.4, the escrow agent is authorized to release and deliver the option fee to the seller at any time without further notice to or consent from the buyer. If the parties end up completing the sale, then the option fee will be credited to the sales price at closing. I brought this up because we had a question on the contract. The buyer never delivered option money. They're trying to get the option money. And then the question was, wasn't that in addition to the purchase price? And the contract is very clear. No, the option fee is for the buyer to have the right to terminate, whether they choose to or not. That money is already the seller's. However, that money that is credited towards the sale, the sales price, is not in addition to the sales price. It's included in the sales price. So that's a little misunderstanding there, but just a reminder, in our contracts, they are very clear with this. And then if they don't deposit earnest money, then not earnest money, but option fee money, then the buyer doesn't have that option period to terminate. So just be aware of that. Property management, we get this a lot too. We are not a property management company. We can find tenants for apartments. We can list properties for rent, find a suitable tenant. We can represent tenants and initiating a lease for rental properties. All those we can do. We can't be a property manager at this point for other people. The question I get for a lot of our agents own their own properties. You as the owner of your property can manage your own property, but you can't manage properties for somebody else as a property manager, but we don't have a trust account. We're not set up for that from a liability standpoint. That may change in the future, but we want some clarity here is there are several that this is confusing. This just make sure we buy, sell, lease, whatever, but we don't do property management unless it's your own properties. Okay, a lot of you do apartment locating. I wanted to bring this up as well. Finally got things kind of conditioned here. There's a vendor credentialing. We've updated 224 different properties around the Houston area. Over 30 vendors where we had to give them our updated broker's license, our W-9 and so forth to make sure it worked. Some of those are still pending, but this allows you as agents to get paid for sending clients, tenants to these apartments. So just so you know that if you get any notice that that particular vendor is pending, it's in the works, it's all been done, should be updated by tomorrow. Just want to let you know that there are a lot of vendors out there that we can actually get income from by sending our tenants to the apartments. Okay. Many of you, all of you got emails from me dealing with the updates, the truck updates, the legal updates, the forms updates as well. I'm going to cover this in detail tomorrow during the lunch and learn, but I wanted to go over them today as a group for the brokerage meeting because it's really important that we know about these and implement these as soon as possible because they went into effect last week. All right, like I said, tomorrow I'll cover them in detail. There were 3 updated forms. The first form they updated was the seller disclosure. It's available now. Of course, your Texas Realtors downloads should be available in your zip forms as well. But what changed? What changed was sellers must disclose the type of piping used for gas supply lines. Is it black iron pipe, copper, or corrugated stainless steel? And then, of course, if the sellers don't know, they can mark don't know on their form. And where is the revised form? It is available online on your downloads for blank downloads. This is a minor change, but it made us update the form. So make sure we're using the updated version as of September 1st that has this additional question around the type of piping for the gas lines. It's a minor thing, but it makes a big difference for us to use the proper form. The consumer protection notice form was updated as well. And so it no longer references the Real Estate Inspection and Recovery Fund, which was repealed this session. So it affects all of us. We have a duty that within one click, they have to access the IABS and the consumer protection notice. So the new one, it has been posted since September 1st. Make sure in your email and your website and so forth that there is a click to the new form, which is a consumer protection notice. And the third form, which we got a lot of misunderstanding about, which is the new MUD form. So for HAR had a form called HAR 400 that was a notice to a potential buyer pre-executed contract that the property was or is not in a MUD district, a special taxing district around utilities. That was done away with because the legislature passed some rules around the cost and the financing of things. And so they sent out they created a district directory for all of the districts in basically Texas. So all the MUD districts are updating the forms as we speak. You would go to the district directory, look on the county, click on the county that you need, click on the number of the MUD district in that particular county, and the top of the page should be the new form. Most of them have been updated, not all of them, but I'll send out instructions again. This is one that's been very confusing for a lot of our agents. This is only if it's in a MUD and you have to do it prior to executing the contract. So listing agents, this is on you to go out there and see if it's available. If it's not available yet at this website, you've got to call the MUD personally and say, what form are you using? And can you send it to me? Yes, it's a thing, but that went into effect. Both laws, there's 2 laws that affected this. All of them went into effect on the 1st of September. Next one I emailed out already as well, something that we've had some questions about, and I wanted to touch on this today, is this new time response rule. This is where previously the broker had a responsibility to respond to their agents within 2 days, 2 calendar days of when you reached out. That was sort of the general rule. Well, the legislature expanded that for all of us for different reasons. So went into effect June 11th, by the way. So I'm surprised we're not hearing more about it now, but it's already in effect, and it affects brokers or sales agents. And that's you guys as well. So within 2 calendar days, you have to respond to your principal, which is your client, your seller or your buyer, your landlord or your tenant. You have to respond to a broker or sales agent representing another party to a transaction. So think about this. This is another party to a transaction. You've got a deal in place, a listing in place where you've got an offer. You've got a rental listing in place where you've got a lease in place where you're communicating, negotiating, okay? And then an unrepresented party to a real estate transaction. This is, I underline and bolded this. So they've already engaged you. Let's say you had an unrepresented buyer on your listing or vice versa. They're in an agreement with you and they reach out to you. That rule applies that you have to respond to them within 2 calendar days. It goes on to Q&A. It says, does this change requirements for brokers? It said, nope, it keeps the same rule for us responding to you. It says, what about weekends and holidays? Yes, it applies to weekends and holidays. There's no business day requirement here. So if it's 2 days over a 3-day weekend, you have to respond within 2 calendar days. But it says, how do I provide a response? It says there's no requirement in the rule about how you must respond. So it can be through a phone call, text message, an email, or however you are communicating with these parties. And it can be as simple as, I got your message. So I have some agents that called that were really, this was scary about leads coming in. Do I have to respond to a lead right away? I have to respond on a call about inquiry about showing the property and so forth. And on first blush, we thought the answer would be yes, but no. It says right here, principal, which is the person you've already got a contract with, the broker on the other side of a transaction, or an unrepresented party that's in the transaction is what this applies to. So people that you're working with in a real estate transaction, you have a duty to now to respond within 2 days. So that's a lot better on this look than it was just a couple of days ago when we looked at this the first time. I'm sure what we'll have then, of course, the response can be as simple as an acknowledgement you received the communication. The rule does not require you to close a deal or otherwise force a decision or specific action. And then you shouldn't have to give them an answer. You just say, hey, I got your message. And then what happens if someone violates this rule? Failure to comply with this rule may result in TREC taking an enforcement action against you, which can include fines. We'll see how this fleshes out, because you're going to see some agents file complaints on other agents because we didn't respond in time. And it will be interesting to see from a broker's perspective how those are ruled based on the association of the person making the complaint. Are they an agent on the other side of a transaction, or are they just an agent that wants information, right? So be aware of that. They're also, for those that are newer agents looking at a renewal coming up anytime in the near future, they've added an additional class for your first renewal. So if you're coming up on your first renewal, they added 30 clock hours in addition to what was already required before of a brokerage course. So they want you to kind of understand brokerage management, if you will. So there's many different options for you, but just be aware, if you're getting closer, you have an additional 30 hours now as of October 1st. So if you're renewing this month before September, you don't have this, but October 1st and on, you have the additional 30 hours. So if you're close, maybe it's a good idea to renew it early. Okay, fact or fiction. You cannot offer a second opinion if another realtor's clients ask you about their broker's general real estate practice. And of course, that is fiction. Although the Code of Ethics does not preclude you from offering an opinion about another real estate professional's business practices, if you choose to offer an opinion, you must observe strict standards of professional integrity and provide objective, reliable information. It is a violation of Article 15 of the Code of Ethics to knowingly or recklessly make false or misleading statements about other real estate professionals in their business or their business practices. So keep that in mind. So basically, we can't disparage another broker or another agent, but we can say this is what we do that may be more beneficial to you than what you're getting currently. So be very careful, but you can, if they reach out to you and ask for a second opinion, you can give it to them. We're doing pretty good. Might get you out of here early there, Catherine. All right, let's celebrate the top 15. These are the people we, based on the number of transaction closed and the amount of gross commission income earned per quarter. So this is would be April, May, and June. This is the group that a combination of those two hit that top mark. Lizette Labarca, the Bay Area group as a group in general, Jessica Lee, Ben Wu, and our own Billy Martinez. Good job. Isabel Lopez, Shaina Akram, Fafu Zeng, Robert Swindle, Maria Tamaz, Timothy O'Neill, Patricia Patino, Catherine O'Reilly, Rubina Khan Baramji, I'm sorry, Rubina, Nicole Vachon, Klanush, and Ramesh Prasla, Kanush Kamali. Good job. This is the top 15. This is a different group. Half of them are different from the first quarter. The third quarter, we have 1 month left. The rest of this month, so you could be on this list for the third quarter. We just want to recognize those that have a great quarter. And then, yes, the CPN, so Catherine asks, is the customer protection notice CPN 5 the latest? That is the latest. Yes, it is. All right. Now, we had our summer appreciation event. We had it at Cidercade just last week, I think. It's crazy how fast things go. Thank you all that made it. Those that couldn't make it, we will have a winter event coming up, a holiday type event where we'll dress up. But here's a few pictures. Here's some fun stuff. Here's a crowd gathered around the food and the foosball table. Here's another one sitting down to eat here, which is a lot of fun. Here's a kind of a wide view of this giant arcade with these arcade machines where people are out playing games and eating food and kind of just really enjoying each other's company. I thought it was a blast. And of course, here's over here, and then here's Madison. She came out from corporate to help us plan things out. She'll be out again for our events in September, and our lovely Crystal from the front desk. And then I want to end with this. One of our agents, Helen here, didn't want to play any games. I thought it was, it's an arcade. Why would I do that? Madison got her to play a game, and this is the look on her face playing the games. And we thought it was what a great way to end a summer event, agent appreciation. But we really do appreciate you all very, very, very much. And we're looking forward to the way things are going here in Houston and kind of the future for HomeSmart all across the state. But thanks, Bill. Yeah, it's pretty awesome there. And of course, our next meeting is October 2nd. The first Thursday of the month, of course. I'm going to stop share real quick and get back over here and do the gallery view. And like I said, Catherine, you can take off if you want to. For the rest of you, if you want, I'm going to jump over. I wanted to share just one more thing with you today on that mud form. Because I talk about it and I want to show it to you just in live action. So bear with me for a second here. I'm going to share a screen again. I'm going to share this one. Okay, over here is that directory I pointed out. So when you get here, you have this whole list. And so what you do is you go, okay, it's in Fort Bend County. It's municipal district number 175. So you click on 175. And then at the top of the page is this notice to purchaser and special taxing or assessment. That's the form you would use. So you can go back and so you look for the county it's in, first of all. So you have the county, all the counties are listed here for Houston, for Texas, I should say. And then you from the county, like Collin County, then you would click on the district after that, and you would click on the form if there's a form there. If there's not a form there, you would call the local district office and ask them for the form they're using. I want to make sure you saw that in live action. It's actually really nice they put this form together for us to use. And like I said, most of them, now that it's actually the law and we have to use these, they will be, by the end of the month, all of them will be complete. So we have about 10 minutes left. Anybody question? What website there we go. For agents look for apartments for the clients. There are a lot of apartment locator type websites. I know Robert had one that he recommended. I don't have one, but I can email it out to everybody. I know that, like I said, we have 225 different agreements with apartments around the area that they're willing to pay us a fee for sending customers there. I'll send out that list as well. That might be helpful for you guys, where you have a list of the properties available where they've already agreed to pay us a referral or a locator commission. That'd be cool. Yeah, okay, thank you. Tamara does apartmentdata.com. Thanks, Tamara. And as she said, it's free. That's awesome. So I'll follow up the list as well so you guys know. But yeah, apartmentdata.com. Thank you, Tamara. Yeah, okay, any questions? You can unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, we'll let you go. Yep. And Brian says, don't forget, you can waive all your fees by sending over 3 of your friends to HomeSmart.
Send me your referrals.
Yes. And then Lindsay said, is there a trick to put the IABS link in your, if you're a member of HAR, you can go to HAR and click on your IABS. It will actually give you a link that you can add to your email signature so that it can be down below. So when you send an email out, they can click on it. It goes to the HAR pre-populated IABS forms. Pretty cool. So that's your trick, Lindsay. All right. Well, thank you again. I appreciate all of you joining me and being a part of HomeSmart. It's been an honor. I'll talk to you guys later.